Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum if you want to begin.
Okay. What I'd like to do, call the meeting to order at this time. You say, put your phone on mute, I guess, if you're not talking. Okay. All right. What I'd like to do at this time is call the meeting to order. I understand we do have a quorum, so I'm going to ask for a motion to adopt the agenda.
I make a motion that we adopt the agenda.
Can I get a second? Okay, properly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Mm-hmm.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Ayes have it. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the discussion of what we came here for today, a discussion and action items of reviewing RAP development key personnel. Now you know what this is all about. What we do, we're going to look at these resumes, see if we think they'll be acceptable to the full board, and then we'll if they are, we'll recommend them to the board. The board will go ahead and approve them, and these people can come on in and take their place and start working and trying to make the common a better situation than it is now. And we always want people who are going to make it better. So what I'm going to do right now is ask John to look at to start with looking at these individuals and just kind of go over. We know John got the expertise, so we kind of follow his lead and let him see what he can tell us about them and whether he thinks they'll be good enough, and we can ask questions as we go along or whatever. But anyway, John, go ahead and take a look at these, starting with the first person up there.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, consistent with the internal procedures that the board has adopted, I'm presenting these resumes for the committee's consideration. Per the procedures, I'm supposed to present and then get direction from the committee on how you wish to proceed. So just in summary, Corey Gagne is being recommended by RATP Dev as the proposed general manager. He does meet the RFP requirements of having 4 years of increasingly responsible management experience in a transit agency that employs 150 or more full-time equivalent bus operators in a unionized environment in the 8 years. They believe that he will be strong and perfect for the comment. On page 7, Joe Sanchez is being proposed as the operations manager. He barely meets the RFP requirements. However, he does have, RATP does believe that he is the appropriate candidate for the operations manager. Pages 12 of your packet is Rushba B. Kamdar. Pardon me if I butchered his name, and I apologize. He is being recommended as the safety and training manager. He barely meets the RFP requirements. 4 years experience in training bus operators of 150 or more full-time equivalent in a unionized environment. And page 16 is a recommended vehicle and facility maintenance manager. He has experience in maintaining a fleet size similar to the size of the Comet and has spent most of his career in maintenance. And he was originally proposed in the proposal that was submitted to RATP Dev, and RATP Dev would like to move forward with Ron Sweeney. Page 17 is the last resume. This is the proposed paratransit operations manager. He does have a significant paratransit management experience. He does meet the RFP requirements of 4 years of overseeing paratransit operators that are 50 or more within the last 8 years. So, so this is what RATP Dev is proposing, and I am looking for direction from the committee on how you wish to proceed.
Okay, wait, we had a new person. Mr. Burgess, did you just join us?
I joined you at 12, but I listened to music for a few minutes. I want to understand why when you time into a meeting, you don't really just come straight in, because the meeting had started, and I'm punching in at 12.
I don't know. You had a technical glitch, John?
It could have been my fault, Mr. Burgess. I apologize.
Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what then. Okay. We'll just go ahead. We just what we did was just looked at the first key people that's being recommended by RAPT Delve, and we're going to go back over them because John just gave a quick summary of each one. So I'm gonna go back to the first one, which was the general manager position, and find out whether anyone has any questions. John said that this person looks good. He met the requirements, and this is the one that's being recommended by a contractor. And I don't see anybody want to ask any questions or anything about him. I'll see what you think about him. What you think about him? What you think about him, John? You think he'd be a good person?
Well, I looked at his.
Just based off your process, I mean, I'm presenting the information. It appears on paper he looks good.
Okay, well that's okay.
How many references did you get on him? How many references from other jobs he worked on did you receive on him?
Well, the problem is the process doesn't allow me to do that. The process says I have to go to the committee, and the committee has to direct me to do the due diligence. So all I'm doing is giving you the information that's been presented to me by RATP Dev. RATP Dev has confidence in this team that's being presented. But beyond that, I've not done anything more than have a brief conversation with him on why he wants to come to the comment and what he can do here.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
You guys want to amend the process to allow me to do more due diligence before coming to the committee? I'm happy to do that, but I'm just following the process as established.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. I don't have a problem with that.
And I would say, unless we see something that looks like a red flag, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't accept the RAPDEB's assessment for their management team, because they certainly have an interest in this group succeeding as well as we do.
Good. They got a big interest in it. Yeah.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Huggins.
Yes, sir. Derek. Okay.
And I concur with Ms. Mood is that as long as and I've looked at all the resumes and they seem to have experience. Like I say, you can make a resume look as good as you want to make it.
Of course.
And then if you can also assess how well this team is doing intermittently. So it's not so much about the board picking them, but we just got to have our measures in place to, if they're not doing a good job, then we must go back to their leadership and tell them. So I think it's a slippery slope for us to try to pick the personnel. As long as we vet them and we follow the procedures that the policy set, I understand that. But for us to try to pick key personnel I think that's a slippery slope. So that's my thoughts.
And my only other question of John was John, have you had any personal experience with any of these folks directly in other situations?
Joe Sanchez, when I was the transit director in Yuma, Arizona, I interacted with him since he worked for the contractor that we had in Yuma. But beyond that, I haven't interacted with the others that are being presented.
All right, so and was that a satisfactory working relationship?
I can't necessarily say it was a working relationship since he came down to meet with us and we chatted a bit and he just told me what he was doing in Phoenix. But beyond that, I
see. Now you weren't in the same place. And am I mistaken, or is Mr. Sweeney was he the person who was on the team that did the external evaluation for us?
That's correct.
Of our fleet?
Yes,
so I thought I remembered him, yes.
He's the only one that out of the initial 4 that was presented that met the RFP requirements.
Oh, okay.
And I remember when he presented, when they did that external evaluation for us, on the maintenance, I was impressed with how thorough he was and and his knowledge about that.
Let's go ahead and let's take these one by one. We'll get to him, Lil, when we get down there a little further.
Okay.
That's okay. All right. So, what you think about this general manager? I don't see any. We don't see any red flags. He meets the qualification. This is the man that the contract has recommended, and he looks good to me. So, what the board feels about him? You think we can move on? You like this guy? Look.
Well, I make a motion that we recommend approval of the general manager to the board.
Okay, get a second?
I second it.
Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Can we have a roll call vote?
Let's do a roll call vote. Okay, all right, Roger Leaks.
Yes. Which are we doing? Are we saying this person is qualified, or this person is who we want for general manager?
This is the one we want. This is the one we want you for general manager, Mr. Burgess. This is the one that we want to approve. This is the one they recommended. He looks good to us, and we see no reason to ask for anybody else. So we want to go ahead and recommend to the board that we accept this guy as a general manager. Now, okay. So, okay, Roger Leaks, yes. John Burgess?
No.
Okay. Mr. Burgess, no. Okay. Lil Mood?
Yes.
Yes. Gleaton?
Yes.
Derek Huggins?
Yes.
And that's it, right? So, did I miss anybody? Who?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Well, look. All right, then. So we got it passes that we'll go ahead and recommend the gentleman by the name of Mr. What's his name there again?
Gagnon.
Oh yeah, Mr.
Corey
Gagnon. Gagnon?
Corey Gagnon. Yeah, Gagnon.
Yes. Corey Gagnon.
We recommend to the board. We recommend to the board that he become our general manager for the time being. Okay. Now
that's not the name on mine. I'm saying Joe Sanchez.
That he's the operations manager.
We're just getting to him. So what you want to vote yes on the first one? We're going to Sanchez now.
I'm questioning procedure.
I move that we recommend to the board that we accept Joe Sanchez as the operations manager.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
How about get to your meeting, because it's moving kind of fast with people talking and everything.
I didn't hear you.
I'm just making a motion so that we can get this the next one up for discussion.
We got Joe Sanchez up there. We got a motion that we take him now. Can I get a second on that? Can I get a second? I'll second it then. Okay, it's properly moved to second. That now we open for discussion. Any questions or comments about it? Let's discuss it. What you find out? Go ahead.
Mr. Chair.
John. Yes, sir.
On this discussion, now this is an operations manager, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. We have an operations manager locally. So are we saying that operation manager wasn't qualified? What are we saying?
let me ask you, now the process, I believe, is that
They would look local app.
how do they say? What's the process for getting in front of the RATP Development Management Group?
They bring their slate of key personnel for the contract that we have with them.
No, I'm saying how does one, if I wanted to get in front of their group and see if they'd recommend me for this position, how would I go about doing it?
They said they would be looking at lower personnel before they fill jobs. That's what they told us.
I'm not sure that applies to the key personnel. I think that applies to all of the staff and the drivers and that's my understanding. But I thought that the contractor brings their slate of their management team and to implement their contract.
So that's the way y'all done it in the past.
They would look at local.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
Okay. So Mr. Fergus, what you have a question, Mr. Fergus?
The only question I have is what they said to us in the meeting. They would look at local personnel. So how are they going to look at local personnel if we saying?
Mr. Chairman, they have done that, and this is the team that they're recommending.
Okay. So, all right. So they looked at the people, and these are the ones that they thought were the best qualified or best whatever, and this is the one they wanted to recommend. So I think our hands are basically tied at just looking at the ones that they recommend. I guess they are. So we have to go ahead with the ones that they have here and see what we think about these individuals.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my question is to John. Did y'all run it internally first? Give those people that you already have employees there an opportunity to apply for those positions?
If they were qualified.
My understanding is
I know they would have to be qualified.
My understanding is RATP Dev did that recruitment. We don't get involved with how they select their personnel.
Okay. Well, I wanted to have a clear understanding of. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, so they assessed everybody's performance. They took applications, and this is basically after they vetted it through their team.
Gotcha.
This is who they're ultimately recommending.
Okay.
Because this particular guy lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. So
you can move here to South Carolina.
They're going all over the nation getting people. So that must be their process.
Okay. All right.
So this is the proposed operations manager, and assistant general manager. So it's been properly moved in second. Any other questions on this gentleman? If not, let's go ahead and vote whether or not we want to accept him and recommend him to the full board. Joe Sanchez. All in favor, let it be known. Well, I'm calling roll call again. Mr. Fergus?
No.
Okay, no. Ms. Mood?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Gleason?
Yes.
Okay. Derek Huggins?
Yes.
Roger Lee? Yes. So the yeses have it. So we'll go ahead and recommend Mr. Sanchez to the board as the operation manager. Next person on the agenda that we want to look at. Is who is that?
I know it's a tough name to pronounce, but And that's,
Comdar?
yes.
And this is for the position of
Safety and training manager.
safety and training. So I make a recommendation that I make a motion that we recommend acceptance of this key person for the management team to the board.
Well, let me, okay, you recommend it properly moved. Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, properly moved to second. Now let's
I
go
second.
into discussion. Okay, properly moved to second. Let's go into discussion now and see what we have to see here before we vote. John, I noticed you said does this guy meet the full qualifications?
He barely does. He presently.
Barely.
Yeah, barely. And the reason I say barely is because he is a safety and training manager for for Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, and then he was also with Ride-On, Montgomery County Transit. But then most of his training experience and safety experience is outside of public transit. So that's why I say he definitely meets it for safety and training, but it's barely.
Okay. All right.
Again, RATP Dev has stated that they have confidence in his abilities to train the bus operators and staff and ensure safety. So this is what they're recommending.
Okay. One other thing then. How long has he been in transit? I see right here he worked from 2014 to 2008.
Yeah. So there's your 2014 to 2020 is where he's had the transit experience.
So
He just barely got in the door of it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he
14 to 20. That's 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
6
yeah.
years.
From 14 to 20, that's 6 years. And they think he's a good person, and he's proper.
Yes, because one thing to note on his resume that the contract requires is that the safety and training manager, one, is required to teach a course at Midland Technical College in relation to trying to encourage the local community to learn how to be bus drivers. So we're going to have a partnership course with them, and he has the ability to train people on that. Two, the contract also requires that the training manager be the tester, the third-party tester, so that they can test their own employees to get Class B licenses. And it appears on his resume that he did that with the Maryland Vehicle Administration. So he understands the federal requirements and how to test people for a commercial driver's license. And then you'll notice that within the last 4 years, he's been working in public transit as a safety and training manager. So when you couple all that together, as it looks on paper, he definitely will be able to take our safety and training into a different direction than what we've done in the past.
Yeah, that sounds like a country of bad.
Well, I'm on a conference call right now.
And I think the best part of it is that being able to train the community for those that are interested on how to be a bus operator at Midland Tech College.
Okay.
Everybody got your phone on mute. Can you put your phone on mute, please? Excuse me. Hello?
Somebody need to put their phone on mute.
Yeah, put your phone on mute, please. Let's go. Al.
Need to get those advisory members off the line.
Let's see if it's, can we,
Go ahead.
1 second, let's see if it's not coming from our end over here. Apologize.
Whether we might need to hold off on that until after that.
Mayor Robinson? Mayor Robinson?
Hello? Okay.
Hold on a minute. I thought I was on mute.
Mayor Robinson, do you hear us okay?
I'm sorry. That
Mayor
now?
Robinson, you hear us okay?
I can.
Okay, I think we were hearing your conversation earlier, but that's why we were just asking if you could put it on mute. But
Thought I was
think
on
we're-
mute.
Oh, you were?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I don't hear where it was coming on. I thought.
Okay,
But
I
that's
think we're
okay.
good now, Mr. Chairman.
If we can get it, go ahead. I also noticed that this gentleman is bilingual. You can hear me, right?
Yes, we hear you perfectly, loud and clear.
Okay. So got some computer skills and things. So, all right. Well, the safety and training manager, it's been properly moved in second. So let's go ahead and. Are there any other questions or comments? If not, let's go ahead and vote for whether we want to do with him. I'm going to do a roll call again. Mr. Huggins. I'm sorry, Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Fergus.
No. No.
Okay. Huggins, yes. Gleason?
No.
Ms. Gleason?
No.
Okay. Ms. Mood?
Yes.
Okay. Got Huggins. And Leaks? Yes. So we'll go ahead and submit this. Yes, win. So we'll go ahead and submit this gentleman as the safety manager. All right. Who's the next one, John?
Your last one is the maintenance manager, Ron Sweeney, vehicle and facility maintenance manager, page 16 of your packet.
Page 16. Okay.
And that's the one that I was saying did appear before us and give us the report from the external evaluation of the fleet maintenance. And I found his skills impressive in that only contact that we've had with him as a board. So I would make a motion that we recommend to the board that they accept Mr. Sweeney as the vehicle maintenance manager.
I second it.
Okay, properly moved in second. Are there any discussions, questions, comments on Mr. Sweeney? Hello? Okay.
We're here. We're hear you. Are you asking comment from staff?
Okay, staff. Yeah, give me some about it, staff. Just to help solidify our understanding of him. Go ahead. What can you say?
My understanding is that he has spent a large portion of his career going back into the 80s in maintenance, and he's worked for many transit agencies across the country as it relates to maintenance: Memphis, New Orleans, Stockton, Durham, Jackson, Mississippi, and Birmingham, Alabama. And then while he was in Chattanooga, he was the general manager there. And
okay.
so he definitely has the managerial skills to manage our facility and vehicle maintenance program.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Mr. Purchase.
In the spirit of diversity, I guess our diversity is short and tall, because there's no diversity among these folks that we evaluate.
Well, I hadn't. Okay, what you think about that?
That shouldn't be second thought. That should be a first thought.
Okay.
It's all male, no females.
Well, we got Joe Sanchez here. He's a minority. I don't know, but these are the people that they sent. So what do you think we should do? I mean, these are the people they sent, and I guess what we need to do is just go ahead and see what we think about these individuals, and maybe we can I don't know what we want to do on that, John, if we think it's not enough diversity in this.
I don't think that's a qualifying criteria. Not in the contract. and I think he could be posed for potential legal challenge.
Okay.
You know, I have those problems getting legal advice from the ED.
Okay, well,
You know,
I think the question before us is the slate that we've been asked to say whether we would accept or not, and I don't think we can go back and impose another criteria at this point.
Yeah.
I think you can vote your conscience on this. I mean, there's no reason not to vote your conscience on it.
Well, I think
and also, I don't want to assume that everybody here is not of diversity. You do have a female, I believe that's being proposed in the paratransit side. You have an African American, you have a Hispanic, you have a Caucasian, so it's well-rounded.
Okay.
I don't want us to assume that there's lack of diversity just based on seeing their name.
Okay. All right.
Can we go ahead and vote on this one?
So let's go ahead and vote on this one. No other comments on it. Let's go ahead and cast your vote at this time. Mr. Fergus.
no,
Okay. Ms. Moon.
Yes.
Ms. Gleason.
Yes.
Mr. Huggins.
Yes.
And Leaks, Roger Leaks. Yes. Okay. So we'll go ahead and yes vote on this one. So we'll go ahead and recommend those four individuals to the board of directors for their approval, and these will be the people that we'll go ahead and accept. All right. What's the next?
We have one more. Do we have one more of the paratransit?
Yes, page 17 of your packet, Jim Howard.
Let's find out what page is he on?
Page 17 of your packet, Jim Howard.
Okay. Oh, Jim Howard. Okay. Now he's the operations manager.
Yes. It's paratransit.
Paratransit, I thought.
Yeah,
Paratransit.
he's the proposed paratransit operations manager.
Chair, I have a question.
Yes,
This
sir.
is your meeting. Aren't you in charge of your meeting?
Yes,
I'd like
sir.
to put in order and get things back in order,
Okay.
please.
All right. Let's okay. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and look at our parent candidate and you speak to you after you get recognition from the chair, please. Mr. Howard. And do we have any other competing for the same position, Mr. John?
Pardon me? I'm sorry?
Do we have any others competing for this same position?
You do have for Mrs. Howard, in addition, you have a Mr. Pollock, Martin Pollock, that is on page 20 of your packet.
Okay. Now, I'm wondering if we've all read that and which one we think might be the better of the two candidates. How you think we should do this? Take it one at a time and look at him. What's the strong points of Mr. Howard?
My understanding from RATP Dev is that Mr. Howard, I think it's Ms. Howard actually, Jim. Yeah, Jim Howard. That this person has extensive experience in paratransit management, has managed paratransit programs in New York City, going back to 2001, and has professional development managerial skills, and this person is recommended as the first choice of RATP Dev to be the paratransit manager. Mr. Pollock, it appears that he has the paratransit experience and is a comparison candidate, but they affirmed the submission of Jim Howard, but they provided a resume to compare to. and it appears that Jim has more paratransit experience than Martin does.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, let's move.
I'd make a motion that we recommend to the board the acceptance of Jim, let me get the name straight, Jim Howard as the paratransit manager.
All right. Can I get a second?
I second it.
Proper moved to second. Any discussion? Any discussion about Mr. Howard? All right. If no discussion one way or the other, let's go ahead and vote on it. Mr. Fergus.
No.
Ms. Moon.
Yes.
Ms. Gleason.
Yes.
Mr. Huggins.
Yes.
And Roger Lee. Yes. Okay. Well, we'll yes have it. Yes have it. The motion passes. So these are the candidates that we'll submit to the full board for their consideration. That's the last one, wasn't it, John?
That is, yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And we'll submit these to the board for approval or disapproval, and then acceptance or disacceptance. Yeah, for acceptance. That's it, I guess. And we'll go from there. Anything else on this slate of officers here, the candidates you have, John?
No, Mr. Chairman. Anticipating that the board adopts this, I will work with RATP Dev to see if they can be available to meet the committee, hopefully at a future meeting. Timing is of the essence so that these folks can give a proper notice to their respective employers so they can be here before July 1.
All right. Now, we do have to present these candidates to the full board tomorrow, don't we?
That is correct.
Okay.
So upon board adoption, then we'll move forward in getting them here so the committee can meet them.
Okay. One other thing, that the persons that just for our information, we have this slate. But for our information, the candidates that were disapproved by you, can you just tell us why you disapproved them? I think they start on page 26. Since we're in this together here.
Page 24 of your packet has the analysis on why they were disapproved during the RFP process. They just did not meet the RFP requirements.
Okay.
24 and 25. The only one that met the RFP requirements was the maintenance manager.
Okay.
So as a contracting officer, my role was only to just ensure that all the proposals met the requirements as presented in the RFP, and that's exactly what I did.
Okay, because they have to meet the requirements for that position.
That's correct.
Right. Okay. Okay. Any other comments or questions on those individuals? Well, if not, go ahead, Mr. Hurst. Burgess just left. Okay.
So, Mr. Chair, if that concludes our agenda, I would make a motion that we adjourn.
I second it.
Probably moved in second. All right. Thank you much. We'll see you tomorrow. Good day.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Very good.
Geraldine Robinson.